we look like a kind of shiny numbers, multi-million pound portfolios, thriving businesses, and a calendar full of wins. But behind the scenes, there's a deeper question. What does it mean to be a man in today's world, balancing ambition, pressure, and the well being? Welcome back, dear listeners, to Mind Over Masculinity. I am your host, Avik, and today we are exploring men's mental well being with someone who has walked the tightrope between business success and personal growth. Joining me is Ronaldo Hare. So, welcome to the show, Ronaldo.
Hi guys, Abek. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining. And dear listeners, before we delve deep into the discussion, I would quickly love to introduce you with Ronaldo. So, Ronaldo is a property strategist, founder of Prem Property, and the driving force behind the Men's Prosperity Club. So, he manages a 3 million pound plus portfolio. But what truly sets him apart is his mission, like creating safe spaces for men to talk, to heal, and to redefine prosperity beyond just the financial wealth. So I'll not take much of your time, dear listeners. Let's get into the discussion. And Ronaldo, welcome to the show again.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to this.
Great. So Ronaldo, like when people hear about you, they might first think that property investor or entrepreneur. But what does mental well-being mean to you personally as a man navigating the leadership, pressure, and the community building?
Great question to start things off. So, as a man, mental well-being is vital. You know, in order to achieve well in success in business, in life, in love, you have to have your mental well-being at the front and foremost with everything. By creating that space for positive well-being and creating that space to unwind and detach from the duties of life, only then I personally believe you're able to grow.
Mhm. Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, have there been moments in your journey where your success on paper didn't match like how you felt inside?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. I feel like your internal journey is longer and it's slower than the external journey. I read somewhere
Okay.
when I read somewhere in a recent book, I think it was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Win internally or win at home before you win in public. Okay. So that basically means that it's important for us to be a practitioner of what we believe or what we preach before we go out to the streets and say, this is how you should do it. So this is what we should do. So it's important for us to work on ourselves before we encourage others to work on their self, because who are we to encourage someone to become a better version of themselves if we ourselves are limiting our day-to-day life?
Understood. Okay. So, you run the Men's Prosperity Club. So, what was the spark that made you say, like, men need this space?
It came about from my own challenge. So, Abek, I was feeling alienated as one could in business from the age of 19. But when I reached last year, May, when I started Mental Spirits Club, it came about because I was alienated. I felt like I was alone in a sense with challenging moments happening within my business. And instead of just trying to navigate and put the burden on my shoulders and just keep plodding through, I took the steps and I made the commitment to myself to look for a solution. That ultimately turned me to Google and searched online to try and find something which could provide the insight that I was looking for. I wasn't able to find it. So instead of just saying, okay, that's it, I must carry on, the solution's not out there, I said, let me go ahead and create a solution. That solution has now gone on to help over 90 young men in my local area of the West Midlands. And we are aiming to expand and grow. But just one last thing I'll share on this. The fact that it's grown so fast and it's created such an amount of impact with the people, even very poignant testimonials, is a testament to the fact that men need safe spaces to talk about challenging topics.
Mm. Exactly. So, like, okay. I mean, if you can share a story of how opening up in that space changed someone's trajectory, or maybe even saved a life as well. No need to take the name, but I mean, yeah.
Sorry, say that again. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying if you can share a story of how opening up this space changed someone's trajectory, or maybe saved their life also.
Okay, I'll give you two stories. One on trajectory and one on saving a life. So I remember vividly, um, when we start our walk and talk, before we go out and walk around the town, the city centre, we get into a circle. And in this circle, each person has a chance to say their name, what brings them here, and a recent win. Okay. And then once they say that, we give them a round of applause. As we was going around a circle at one point, there was a guy who said his name, what brings him here. And the recent win for him was the fact that he's seen a real improvement in his communication style, and as well as that, his opinion or his how he opens up to understand different people's perspectives, life and culture. Okay. And this wasn't just something that he saw, it was something that was mentioned to him by his friends and family. And he pinned that down to a result of coming to Men's Spurs Club on a regular basis. So that definitely changed his trajectory over life. In terms of people saving their lives, I've got another gentleman that comes along quite often, and he was in a dark place, but by coming to this community and becoming part of a brotherhood, he literally said that, you know, you don't know how much this means to me. You know, I won't go into specifics, but we definitely saved a life with him. And there's plenty of other people who haven't voiced their whole journey, but I'm sure that we've helped them grow their trajectory. We'll potentially say their own that.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. And that's really powerful because it reminds us that prosperity is not just about the bank accounts, but it's also about the brotherhood, about knowing someone has your back when the world feels heavy. So that's true. Yeah. And if I say, like, in your work, you combine property strategy with the purpose driven leadership. So, how do you see financial stability and mental stability connected for the men?
So finance is a major, major, major foundational part of mental well-being, because we are in a very materialistic, capitalistic world where how much money you make does ultimately um, affect the quality of life that you will have. So a lot of the men that come to our group, they may have issues with finances, or they may just be wanting to have a new perspective or professional guidance on their finances. And I personally can provide this, but even better is the community partner that we work with, who is an independent financial advisor. And actually is actually doing a presentation, a workshop later on this month. But this allows for people to get knowledge firsthand from professionals in their field. It's not just a combination of YouTube videos and TikTok videos that we've seen and we're trying to put it all together. No, it's backed by people that have university degrees, have experience in the field and the knowledge to help you do better with the one that you have, as well as making more, which inevitably helps with your mental well-being.
Okay. Okay. So, on the flip side, do you think focusing too much on money can sometimes make men more vulnerable mentally?
100%.
Okay.
100%. If you set your goals on something as such as like as money,
Mhm.
you'll never be settled. You know, I think there's a few famous people that have said that before, but if you like your goal is to become a millionaire, you become a millionaire. And then you're thinking, what's next? I want 10 million. I want 100. I want a billion. Then the goalpost keeps moving. So your sole driver in life cannot be money because you'll never be settled and you're continuously driving until you drive off that hill. You'll drive up that hill to your own demise because you're burning yourself out for money. There's much more to be put on this earth, such as impacting people's lives and leaving a legacy. Money is just a byproduct of doing good for people that you surround yourself with.
Exactly. Yeah. Mhm. Understood. So, okay. So, like, that I would say that that contradiction is fascinating because money can give us security, but it can also trap us in the cycles of, I'd say, stress if we don't define wealth on our own terms. So that's something definitely, and um, also like the men's prosperity club is all about the connection, but many men feel isolated even in a crowd. So, what do you think that stops men from seeking community until it's almost too late?
Yeah, that's another great question, Avik, and it's a challenging one to answer. A lot of men do reach out when it's too late, and I would say pride plays a big part. Society, culture, and just general responsibilities of men is tends to be that you should just carry on,
Yeah.
don't ask for help, be the strong soldier, and just see it through. So when you try that for so long and it doesn't work for you, you might have dug yourself too much of a hole to ask for help in a sense. So I would say to answer that, I think pride plays a big part, and men just have to
Great.
encourage themselves to seek assistance before before it's too late, or before they even say that they need it. Just being part of a community is important for day to day life.
Hmm. Exactly. So, like, and how can we encourage men to see uh, asking for help not as weakness but as the wisdom?
I like to say that strength. So vulnerability is a strength, not weakness.
Mhm.
So, for example, when we do our walk and talks, we reiterate that you'll get the best out of this if you're with an open mind and you leave your egos at the door. Okay. That's the force of mind that men have to have if they are looking to receive guidance. They have to leave the egos behind and have to come with an open mind. Okay.
Mm.
That's the best advice I could say to anyone. But in terms of communities and brotherhoods and things like this, it starts very simple. It could be your local cricket club that you support. It could be your a football team you like. That's where you can find fellow brothers that have similar interests to you. And then from there, you can branch out into something that's more focused, like a mental well-being group, which is what we have. But start where you are, which is a very simple thing to do. Start where you are. Talk to people around you. Could be your uncles, your brothers, and reach out. to those that you might have forgotten about, your friends of old, bring them in and see how together you guys can go on to create a stronger brotherhood and yeah, help another person help you.
Understood. And also, like, some people say, like, some say that men should tough it out, while others say that talk it out. Which side do you lean toward? I mean, or is there a middle ground also?
As or you've heard from this so far, you know what side I lean on. Men need to talk. Men need to talk. Simple as that. Uh, I'm a believer, I'm an advocate that men have responsibilities and nothing about that's ever going to change and it shouldn't change. But at the same day, when those responsibilities get the better of you, you need to be able to have that safe space, have those conversations to talk about where things are going wrong and see with your brothers how things can get better.
Okay. And okay. So, and do you think that society sometimes overcorrects, telling men to be vulnerable without giving them the tools to do it safely?
Overcorrects, you say. Um, I'll answer this like this. The tools are important and some people just say the statement and nothing don't give the tools. That's why at Men's Prosperity Club, we're focused on solution focused therapy, essentially talking therapy and community driven and guidance. Hence why I said earlier on, we have our community partners, which can assist in certain things. We've got a relationship coach, we've got a fitness coach, we've got our mindset coach, we've got a life coach, we've got everything you can think of. We've got a coach for it who's dedicated to the community and providing value. Okay. So therefore, the solution is there. The tools are supplied, as well as the community where you can talk to them about the challenging topics or thoughts that you have, and not just simply you need to be more vulnerable because that's not giving anyone any results. You need to back it with the tools and the solutions, which is exactly what you need to spray to them.
Understood. Okay. And I mean, that's a tricky balance, I would say, because it's not about forcing vulnerability. It's also about uh, creating the safe frameworks when, I mean, where men feels both strong and supported. So, uh, yeah, that's great. And finally, finally, Ronaldo, like, where you think when you think about your legacy beyond property and the portfolios, what's the message you hope men carry forward from your work?
That we all are leaders in our own field, and each one teach one. It's something I stand by. Like you can teach me something I've left, and I can teach that onto another person, and so on and so forth. Like Chinese whispers, we can keep teaching. So, if by me and you having this conversation, you can go back to your communities, your spheres of influence, and talk to them about having these well-being checks on their friends and their family, or just simply just being a shoulder to talk to, then we've done our job. Our legacy's there because that can domino effect onwards in a positive way to cause safe spaces internationally for men to talk about challenging topics. So each one teach one was a legacy that I aim to live on once my time here was gone.
Understood. Okay, got it. And if you could sit with your younger self, what piece of advice about mental health and masculinity would you give to him?
I would simply say, don't live inside your head. Okay, life is outside of your head. That's where life happens, not inside your head. We overthink, We dramatize. We
Yeah.
listen to little voice, which limits us from doing things. Our head and our minds sometimes can be your worst enemy. It's about taking action and trying to utilize it to be your best friend, and using it as a positive tool rather than a negative tool. So yes, I'll talk to myself and say, don't live inside your head. Go out, take action, make mistakes, and learn from those mistakes.
Okay. Okay. And any other advice you would like to share with the listeners today?
Just take action. Take action. Do something that you didn't think you would be able to do. You know, the new year's around the corner. Um, Make sure you make your future self proud.
Ah, got it. Yeah. Lovely. So, thank you so much for such a raw and real conversation. And I would say that uh, you have reminded us the masculinity isn't about hiding pain or chasing endless success, but it's about aligning our prosperity with our purpose and building communities where men don't just survive but truly thrive. So, for all the listeners, if you're struggling, remember that you are not alone. Connection saves time and connection save lives as well. So, take that one step, like Ronaldo mentioned, whether it's reaching out to a friend, joining a group, or simply admitting to yourself that you need rest. And with this hope, Ronaldo, if someone wants to connect with you, what will be the great medium to connect?
Best way to connect with us is on the mensprosperityclub.com website, social media, Men's Prosperity Club, and we're on Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Okay. Yeah. They're the best ways to get in touch with us. Thank you, Amit.
Lovely, great. So, dear listeners, what I'll do is I'll put all the links into the show notes for your easy reference. And this has been Mind Over Masculinity. I'm your host, Avik, and I'll
Yeah.
uh, leave you with this thought that true prosperity is where your mind, your mission, and your relationships are all in harmony. And keep showing up for yourself and for each other. Until next time, stay strong, stay open, and stay here. So, thank you so much.